is the best place to get your last name butchered. And the worst place to stay in your comfort zone. Today, she'll be asking all of us to reflect on the best and worst of a variety of topics. Please help me welcome our Table Topics Master, Jolene Terracotta.
Good morning, everyone. I'm excited to voraciously give table topics for the first time this morning. So now it's your turn to finish this sentence. Toastmasters is the best place to... Toastmaster Brandon Moore.
Oh, great. Thank you, Jolene. Good morning, Toastmasters. Good morning.
Toastmasters is the best place to get called on first. Table topics, and then come up with something great and maybe win table topics. It's going to have to be pretty awesome because this club has really great table topic speakers. I'm looking at some of them right now. I am a voracious believer in table topics, so that could be a reason to vote for me. I love table topics. As soon as she stood up, I thought to myself, man, I really hope she calls on me first. Being the first person to speak about what makes Toastmasters great. And I think it is all these awesome speakers that are going to present today, starting your Friday morning off. Awesome, right?
Yeah.
And what else are you going to do? Laying around sleeping, walking the dog, eating the horses? And that's awesome.
Toastmasters is the worst place to... DTM and winners.
If anybody would know. Toastmasters is the worst place to, that's the question, to be shy, because you're not going to be shy much longer. Toastmasters is the worst place if you are shut in, because you'd never make it here. Toastmasters is the worst place to not make new friends. Toastmasters.
You're on a roll.
Thank you.
Keep going, man.
I'm working on my toes now.
And it's not even a geyser.
What's that? Toastmasters is the worst place to come and not be a better speaker.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What is the best compliment you ever received? Toastmaster Amy White.
Oh,
Keep going.
it was the best one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think the wildest.
I think the best compliment I've ever received is that I'm a great speaker. Because when I walked in the room the first time, it was at the Mount Vernon Hotel, and I was shaking like a leaf. It's like, what am I doing? How am I, like, this is torture, and I'm doing it myself. But the stories I heard from other fellow Toastmasters were so rich, and they fed my heart and soul. And I thought, how can I not come back? I did like sitting in the corner, or I would sit behind somebody, hoping I wouldn't be visible and not get called on table topics. But I just kept coming back, and I love all the stories I hear from you all, and it's enriched me. Yay.
The worst date you've ever had, Toastmaster Christine Marie Rose.
Good morning.
Pick one.
I actually have to think about this because there's been a few. I was voracious at one point dating. Yeah. I think I have to say this one gentleman. You guys are going to judge me for this, but I'm going to tell you this stuff. Anyway, so before I left New York, and I was driving, and most people don't drive in New York. So I ended up picking up this young man that we were going on a date downtown in Manhattan. there was a festival going on, and I think we were supposed to go to a restaurant. I guess he put on his grandfather's cologne, and a lot of it because I could taste it in the car. The whole drive there, I was losing my mind. Like, it was bothering me so much I couldn't hear words that he was saying. Then he got to a point where he was bragging about his unlimited Metro card. And, I got really annoyed, so I told him, I think you might need to put that Metro card to use, and I left him downtown.
What's the best mistake you've ever made? Toastmasters, Maria, G.
Speak up, please.
Toastmaster Maria G.
There you go. She's up. She's up. Sweet.
And it was, what's the best mistake you've
Best
ever
mistake I've ever made. Well, probably saying that I wanted to volunteer to be on the table topics, but I'm thinking also that one of the things that was said, I think it was Will, was that your last name gets butchered very often here at Toastmasters, which obviously just happened. My last name is Garaitanandia.
Whoa.
That is a Basque last name. It's 13 letters long. Nobody ever knows where it's from. And I tell people the best way to remember how to say it is imagine that you're giving directions to go to India, but you're actually going to Nandia. So you go right to Nandia. And that's the way you say my last name. Thank you very much.
Worst compliment you've ever received? Toastmasters Eugene Bertardi.
You know, I don't write down or collect compliments in general. Other than remember the voice, but as I'm voracious for success, I would assume it was something where people didn't believe in my success, and I would write it down or something.
All right.
Thing that happened to you this year so far? Toastmaster Ryan Hodge.
Ryan.
Ryan.
Wide open, Ryan.
Well.
The best thing that happened to me this year so far. The best thing that happened to me this year so far was in May when I got fired from my job.
Wow.
The reason being because I had spent many years working for other companies, giving my input on things that I thought were good and things that I thought were bad. I'd like to say maybe 90% of the time they were disregarded for an idea that someone who thought they had the right idea would be better for it. So when I got fired, I realized I don't really have to do that if I don't want to, do I? And I looked at my parents and I said, Mom and Dad, I don't think I like working for other people. I think that kind of stinks, you know? So that's when I decided that I'm going to throw stuff at the wall until it sticks and give entrepreneurship every chance it has until I cannot do it any longer.
Good for you.
What is your best Toastmasters memory? DTM Jordan Hammer.
You drove down.
Oh, I was getting it.
Your best Toastmasters memory.
Even read. Like the corners of your mind.
Oh my gosh.
So of course, I have all kinds of marvelous Toastmaster memories. Probably one of the best, and it recurs, is when I'm able to tell people how I ended up in Toastmasters, which starts with how I met my buddy Kim over there. That's always a great memory. Do you remember the guy who played the blankety blank who played the bugle at 3 in the morning? I'll have you know, I was that blankety blank. However, there are other things that really need to be said here, and I know I have limited amount of time. My appetite for giving a speech is voracious. The delight I have when I give one is bodacious. And if you stay here long enough, you will become loquacious.
What's the best job you ever had? Toastmaster Azad Hosen.
Yes, Azad. Right. Sign up for first toast.
What was it again, please?
What is the best job you've ever had?
The best job I have is to be father. It's a 20 years job that I've been doing for 3 kids. And one of them finished masters in medical management, and 2 of my daughters are studying in UCF, bringing from a third world country to the land of opportunities.
What's the worst travel experience you've ever had? Toastmaster Elizabeth Ramirez.
Hey, remember she is.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
What's the worst travel experience you've ever had?
Oh, when I hiked towards Havasu Falls, and for those of you that don't know, it's in the Grand Canyon, and it's a 10-mile hike down, and it was amazing, and we had to camp there, and it was about 2 o'clock in the morning, and I needed to go to the bathroom, but I was definitely not going to be walking in the dark to these porta potties. They were so disgusting. So I decided that I was going to just step outside the tent and, use that as my home. And as soon as I got inside the tent, I started screaming because I got bitten.
Where?
And what I learned, I got bit by a scorpion. And I had to hike out of the canyon with that bite.
What is the best song to dance to? Myra Forey.
The best song to dance to would be Celebration, which I was in high school during the time when that came out. So it was a fun song for me. I grew up in a family that was very religious, and they did not allow us to go dancing. We were not allowed to do anything at all on Sundays, so I loved to dance, and it was one of the things that I really enjoyed. So I really took to all of the 70s music and really wanted to go to all of the dances. I was the youngest of 6 children, so I was able to talk my mom into letting me go to one of the school dances, which I really enjoyed and had fun, and I still like to dance today. So.
The worst job you've ever had? Toastmaster Evan Berlin.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. The worst job that I've ever had, I feel like I've been fairly fortunate with my job history, but working at a golf course in Tallahassee, Florida, The reason it was the worst job I've ever had was we had to pull up cars about a half mile down from where they were located up to the clubhouse every day. Fortunately, it did help me lose my freshman 15 by doing that, maybe freshman 20. But I would say that was the worst job I've had yet to date. Thank you.
What's the best vacation you've ever had? Toastmaster Roy Shear.
Roy. Regrettably, outside my tent, I was bitten by a scorpion. So I need to yield my time to Elizabeth Beaujolais Chardonnay. Up you go. There you are.
So I guess my name is Elizabeth now. For those of you who don't know me, my name
Catherine.
is Catherine. That's my name because he always associates me with Elizabeth for some reason. And then he calls me Chardonnay because my last name is Mosier Boulay, and it sounds like a wine to him. So he calls me Chardonnay or Beaujolais. I do not know what the question was because I was listening to Roy with the vacation. So you'll have to repeat it.
The best vacation you've had?
Oh my gosh, Costa Rica. I just got back from Costa Rica. I went for a yoga retreat. And yoga was the excuse to be there. We did many other things, but I was there with past Toastmaster Kate Adams, and she's a stand-up comic, so, you know, it was crazy times. And my loud friend Barb, it was voraciously fun. I don't think that's the correct usage of the word, but I'm going to use it anyway. So it was voraciously fun. The best vacation I ever had.
Thank you.
Tell us about the best place to have a date. Tasha J.
Hello, fellow Toastmasters.
Hey.
I have a voracious appetite to talk, and this is my first table topic since I've returned to Toastmasters. So thank you for calling me. I was visualizing it the whole time. I'm like, really? My energy? You can't even read that yet? So, next question.
Place to have a date.
Oh my gosh. The best place to have a date. You know, I've been married 15 years. I don't really think I'm qualified to answer that anymore. But I will say that, let's see. I'm going to go to the worst compliment. I know people hate it when we change the table topic, but I can't help it. The worst compliment I have ever received. I worked at a spa. I've been a massage therapist for 20 years. I've worked out all of my life. One person said, "You have hands like Madonna." And I went, "Oh." So I'm like, Madonna's kind of hot, right? So I go and I look at her hands. She has the ugliest hands. The only thing ugly on her is her hands. So that would be the worst compliment.
What is something you're the worst at? ETN, Jeff Rufino.
Toastmasters and guests. There's no shortage of things I'm bad at. The older I get, I realize I'm not as smart as I thought I was. I'm not as skilled as I thought I was. The beautiful thing about life is it humbles you, whether you want it to or not. I just returned last night from Buffalo, and for the first time ever, I was volunteering with a group called 8 Days of Hope. We're working in the inner city in the Ellicott district. And I decided to step out of my comfort zone, because each year I help, we basically do home repairs for 8 days. And I'm not a home repair guy, if that's not evident by now. So I help with painting, that's my comfort zone. And I decided, because I've worked with this particular team leader before, I wanted to work with him. I show up and he said, "We're going to be gutting this bathroom." Does anybody know what gutting this bathroom means? It's something in a bathroom I've never done before. And I am voraciously going after it with my crowbar and claw hammer. See how I had to think about that? It's an effort to even know what I was using. But the good news is I was able to do a complete demo, and also I was able to help hang drywall. Right. Let's say I am definitely not the best at either, but I had a voracious appetite to learn, and I'm glad I did.
Yes, they did.
Okay.
All right.
All right, so vote for